another episode of Get Response Live in English, or sort of English, with regards to me, Dutch English. But I'll do my best because we have an international guest today, Piotr, and he's Dutch, but okay. Ian are
Yeah,
both here from ABN AMRO, and they're going to be, like you see in the screen, talking about adoption, the adoption journey on Power BI. So welcome both,
thank you.
and
Nice to be
nice
here.
that you're sharing this with us, who everyone is watching. Um, Now, if you like this content, maybe it's the first time you watch this, we always appreciate it if you can like on either YouTube or LinkedIn, because then more people will see it, or subscribe to our channels. And if you want to learn more about Power BI, you can, of course, also have a look at Power Up, our e-learning environment. You see it now also in my new background. Maybe you're watching it more. I have a new background because I'm now for the first time in our new office, in our new studio. This is, of course, a fake image. You can see that. But I thought, now let's try some backgrounds. So maybe you can help me out picking a nicer one, because I did it, of course, 5 minutes before the broadcast. So I thought maybe also this one, also Power Up. Do you like this one? This is number 1. This is number 2. And this is number 3. So Power Up. Yeah, then my head is before it. So
Also nice. It
I
gives
like
a bit of a podcast
yeah. Which
feeling.
which one do you like best,
Number
Ian?
number three is also nice. It has a bit of the podcast idea.
Yeah,
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 and it did
pretty
want to have
nice.
the light bulbs. Yeah. Now, I stick to this one for this episode, but if you're watching, let me know which one you like best. And maybe your choice will be next week's background. You never know. But enough about me. Um, can you introduce yourself? And I think you brought with you a slide deck
yes,
to tell a little bit more what you do at ABN AMRO, Ian.
yes, exactly. So I will use the slide deck because we have
Yeah,
a slide there that introduces
perfect.
ourselves as well.
Yeah,
So
great.
welcome everyone. We're going to take you through some topics that involve our BI adoption journey for over the last few years. And before we start, it's good to introduce ourselves first. So give the word to you, Piotr.
Yes, thanks, Ian. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Piotr Gajdecki. I work for the bank already for like 6 years. So one of my expertise here in the bank is try to find like nice solutions for all the interesting challenges that we get like from the business perspective. Because me and Ian, we are working in the BI enabling block. So we're trying to help our business to enable them to get like the value and see how we can do things on the scale of the whole bank, of our whole community. So a couple of fun facts about me. I love paddle. I've been addicted for the past couple of years, so you can see me like on different courts in Amsterdam. And I'm from Poland, from Wrocław. That's my home city. And yeah, that's briefly about me. And back to you, Ian.
Great, thanks, Piotr. Yes, about me. Even kijken to start. Yeah, my work mainly revolves around Power BI administration, but also Power BI development and data visualization. Really has my passion. Work also revolves around ops and security tasks. Besides work, I live in Amsterdam and I like to go out on my boat with my friends and family whenever I have time and the weather is permitting. All right, enough about the introduction, and let's take you along on our BI adoption journey. In this slide, we also cover our agenda for today. So first, I will cover our BI governance, how we organize that, and yeah, how we govern the BI environment in our daily work. I will cover something about our Power BI community. It's an important topic for us. Then we have two topics where Piotr will elaborate about some of the solutions that we have in place that help us to maintain our environment. Then I will come back for the last two topics where I will cover data visualization with our chart assistant. And I will cover the Workspace Insights app, which is an app with all information for our workspace administrators. But yeah, that's our agenda of the day. Let me start with the first topic. That's our BI governance. Yes. Now, to facilitate the BI governance, we developed the BI governance framework. Now, as you can see on the bottom left here, it's a Power BI app, and it's accessible for all employees within the bank. And it's a collection of related Power BI principles, Power BI policies, and roles and responsibilities, supporting processes and solutions that help you to organize these processes within your team. And this framework is actually also a big set of guidelines for teams that want to organize themselves with regards to BI. If you have certain requirements in your team because you have certain sensitive data or other requirements regarding your BI, you can select a certain BI principle around it. And then, yeah, of course, this is a Power BI interactive report, and that will help you filter through the other policies and related solutions.
It's a fun way to use Power BI as a
Yeah,
documentation.
really, yeah, and it's actually a working tool. So
Yeah.
people, they want to be more involved about secure BI, and they select that policy, and they can read the theory behind it and the best practices and the standards within the bank and the guidelines for that.
Before you continue, Ian, because I'm curious, since when is ABN AMRO using Power BI roughly?
Yeah, I think we can say 5 years now.
5
Yeah,
years. And how many people are using it?
yeah. We have to
Roughly.
be careful with numbers, but it's around 20,000 or something. We have a lot of Power BI users because every employee has it available,
Yeah.
similar to all the other office tools. Yeah.
And 20,000, and how many people are working approximately at ABN AMRO?
Yeah, about that.
Oh, the same. All right. So almost
It's
everyone is
similar.
using.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
cool. Good
yeah.
to know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think also like with this report, because if you see about like policies and different responsibilities, it's always when you see like those documents, they're like quite hard to read. And with this app, we also wanted to show it a little bit in a nicer way that even like those boring documents, they can be shown in a nice way that you can very easily find them. And
Yeah.
if you have like a problem, let's say, you can find the related solutions for certain processes. So it's
Yeah.
quite nice organized.
Looks good. Yeah. Please continue, Ian.
Yeah, thanks. So besides that, we also have a SharePoint page, and it has background of the BI governance framework and instructions how people can use it within their BI journey. Besides all these best practices and guidelines and standards we provide, we also do our daily tasks that involve BI governance. For instance, for provisioning workspaces, we only provide premium workspaces. In the past, we also had shared workspaces, but these are more difficult to monitor. If there's performance issues, for instance, yeah, it's not so easy to maintain. So we blocked the creation of shared workspaces, and they are only now centrally provisioned by our team, the central administration team. And yeah, that brings us a lot more in control. Also, for instance, all the enterprise gateway connections that we have, they're also all created centrally by us. It's fully automated with Azure DevOps pipelines that create these connections. And also the secrets and passwords that are involved in that are picked up from various security vaults. And yeah, they were used to create the connection without any human intervention. Also more, yeah, to be more secure in that department. Another thing that we do is our capacity management, of course. We do that ourselves. We have that full control over that. So we can manage the workloads of the different workspaces over the different capacities as required. Another topic regarding our BI governance is that we have a Microsoft certification. requirement for the Power BI Pro license. So if you want to publish your reports to the Power BI service or in an app to a larger audience, yeah, we want these people to be knowledgeable, at least know what they're doing. So that's why we made the mandatory Microsoft certification for a Power BI administrator. That's PL 300, and it's quite nice because we have a quite large group of more than 400-500 people who are certified within the bank, and yeah, it's quite nice. Um, Besides all these things we do ourselves, we also have reporting regarding BI governance, and we provide this reporting for our workspace administrators, and we give them insights in the violations we think the standards they are not passing, and we give them insights so they can possibly improve these things. In the reportings, there's always links to SharePoint pages which explains why we think they're violating and what they can do to become compliant in that sense. And if they would do that, then the next day, if they would visit the report again, uh, this health check violation would be gone. It's
All right.
actually a certain kind of report that where a user, if he logs in and the report is empty, it's actually a good thing. So
All right. So
yeah,
only the warnings and the errors are
yeah,
shown.
exactly.
Uh,
That's
we have a quick question from Olaka, whether the slides
sure.
will be shared. No, the slides as such will not be shared, because this is more like a broadcast. It's not really a webinar. But what it will be is that this episode, like all the other episodes, you can watch back on our YouTube channel. And you see it at the bottom left, Get Responsive. So youtube.com/Get Responsive. They will find this episode also back, so you can see the video back, and therefore the
Yeah.
slides. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Thanks.
this is the governance. Let's continue to
Yeah.
the next one because I'm curious to
Yes.
see also the other.
Yes, I get it. So I was ready to go for the next one, and it's about our Power BI community. And it's really something we should mention because it's actually a big part of our success within the bank. With so many users, you heard the numbers, it's impossible for a central team of 8 employees to help everyone. And we're fortunate to have a very large and active community, and we see colleagues posting questions and colleagues answering these questions. We have it organized in different channels with topics. Let's say if you have a very specific DAX question, you could post it in the DAX channel, and then some DAX expert can answer it. And yeah, that's working very well. So we're happy with that one. Another service we provide within Teams is actually a walk-in service. So people can come to us with Power BI related questions or BI related questions. And instead of entering a question in a ticketing machine and getting a reply the next day, of course it works, but sometimes you want to spar a bit about your thoughts or your setup. And this walk-in session, yeah, that facilitates that. We have a call with these people one-on-one, and yeah, we show them what standards we have and what rules and guidelines and yeah, what they can do. And we get a nice mix of questions. We get really technical questions, but we also get simple questions of somebody who wants to know how they can request a new workspace, for instance.
What's the most
Yeah,
common
sorry.
questions about? What are most people maybe that start with Power BI struggling with? What are the questions?
Well, at the beginning, people want to know how they should be sharing their reporting.
Yeah.
And some teams, if they're really beginners, some teams they're not even sharing their reports in a big scale. They can just do it within Power BI Desktop. We also have teams who work like that still. So there's a big difference actually.
Mm-hmm.
If teams are also a thing that happens a lot is people they want to have their data automatically refreshed. And for that, you need an enterprise gateway connection.
Mm-hmm.
And for that, we have another few prerequisites. So people usually come to us to
Make
talk about that one. Yeah.
yeah, clear. Ah, cool.
All right.
And all 20,000 people part of these communities, or
No, I think really active, I would say between 2 and 3,000, but it's
all
still
right,
quite a
still a
lot. And
lot.
of course,
Yeah,
of that set, there is still even maybe a top 50 that are really active. But yeah,
yeah,
it works. It works.
yeah,
It's self-moderating also, so it's really
nice.
nice.
Yeah, cool.
The last thing I wanted to touch upon in the community is that we also see knowledge sharing going on. So an example of that one is there was this DAX expert, and she created a training for her team. And it was a good training, and it was a success in her team. And then she decided to post on it in the larger community. And there was a lot of requests for it. And now she has multiple sessions planned to give this training outside her team in the bigger community in the bank. So yeah, it's really nice that that's happening.
Maybe one day she wants to come in the studio, just record it.
Yeah, maybe nice duck training. Yeah, yeah, she had some nice insights there. So
Share it with everyone.
yeah.
Yeah, she's welcome.
Yeah, but it really shows that this community works, and
Yeah, nice. Yeah,
we're
that's the
really
nice
proud
thing
of that
about
one.
Power BI. The community is so large within ABN, but
Mhm.
also outside the ABN.
True.
Yeah, that's great.
All right. All right. Without further ado, I'll give the word to Piotr.
Yes, thanks, Ian. So that's the next topic that I want to share a little bit the story about the BI quality feedback engine, because basically, like the idea of let's say the community also helping people, as Ian said before, it's also those questions are for example, like people are coming to us with certain questions about performance of a report or how they can improve. So what we saw together with the team, that after after time, those questions are basically the same. People are saying like, okay, I have problem with my performance of my report. What can I do to improve? So then we thought like together with the team, what we can do for our community, so for our user group, that they basically can retrieve this information and learn. Because basically, what we want to what we want to achieve, that people learn from their mistakes, or maybe not even from their mistakes, but not following the good practices. So they will be redirected to the right path, and they will basically grow also as a Power BI developer. Because at the end, we want to um, let those people to master their Power BI skills.
Mhm.
So we thought like, okay, it will be nice that we can scan all those semantic models that we have like in our Power BI tenant on a monthly basis, because we want to also give time to people to implement those changes, to see, okay, what is important that I need to change in this moment, and then basically after a month see how my changes shown in the report. So maybe there is a nice a graph that you can see, and you can follow basically your fixing a journey. So how we achieve that? So I put here a little bit of architecture. This is a simplified architecture, but basically how it works. There's two ways. There are two flavors for this solution. So one, it's called BI quality feedback user scan and periodic scan. The periodic scan runs on a periodic schedule every month, and the user scan can be used directly by the user. So how it works, basically, when you publish a semantic model to Power BI Premium Workspace, you can request a scan, and basically that scan will trigger an automated Azure pipeline that basically will connect to that semantic model through the XMLA endpoint, run the best practice analyzer, because we are using the tools that are available from the Power BI community, that the third-party tooling. And yeah, we are also using the best practices from Microsoft, from Rui Romano. I think like many people know him also, like from LinkedIn. He posts a lot of interesting things. So he developed like those best practice rules. I think right now there's like around 65 of those rules. So we are also applying those rules to the semantic models. So then all those data sets are scanned, and we are of course storing all the information in our internal BI for BI store. And then on top of that, we created like a report that people can really see. So if
Nice.
you can, Ian, go to the next slide. We have a little bit of a demo of this solution. Fortunately, we couldn't connect with our laptops from work, so this is only the screenshots. But still, basically, this is how the report works. If you can go to the next, this is like a welcoming screen. But basically, this is what the user gets. So here on this in this report, there are like a couple of sections. So if we start on the top sections, um, you get information about the number of workspaces that you are the owner as an administrator. So in this example, I selected only one, just to show it. But if you're like an administrator, you can have multiple workspaces, and those workspaces have multiple data sets inside. So on the top, we have those three categories with the controls, with the severity of high, medium, and low. Because some things are, let's say, very important to fix. Some things are, let's say, medium, and some of them are low. So it depends what the user wants to focus first to fix. And those are, of course, like from Microsoft. So we say, okay, we are following Microsoft. They know better than us. And if you see the middle screen, the middle part of the report, those high severity are break down into number of violated objects per those severity. So let's say if we see the medium severity, those goes into a control category, for example, performance or maintenance and error prevention. So if you select on this report on one of those specific categories, you can really focus on which area do you want to fix later in your report. If you go to the next slide, Ian. And as you can see here, there is also like the third part of this report, so the detailed scan results. So here I also selected one of those controls that were violated. On the top right, you can see the mark primary keys. So here in this detailed section, you can really see which object in your data model has been violated, right? So in the on the right you can see the violated objects, and if you're like the Power BI developer and you were working on this data set or this semantic model, you will definitely know that, okay, I know what those objects are, where to find them, what's the severity type, and yeah, I didn't include the screenshot for that, but basically if you will scroll more to the right, but this presentation doesn't have it, we also included a links how to fix those issues.
Oh,
So
good.
basically
Yeah.
the user can also click on the link, and let's say about this specific mark primary keys, we attach a Microsoft documentation page or a video from YouTube. Let's say, yeah, if there's a great video from Marco Russo or Adam Saxton, we also include that for
Mhm.
support, because I think it's always easier when you just see where you need to click rather than reading like a long documentation, of course. So that's also like the objects of this report, to help people learn for them for the future, to improve their Power BI skills.
And Piotr, is this then a prerequisite that people have to do this and at least solve the high severity ones before they can publish it? Or is that open for people to use or not use?
Yeah, so at this moment, it is open to use. So we
Mm.
really recommend people to check them, because especially when somebody is coming to us with performance issues, we say,
Yeah.
did you check all those things first, before you complain for BI is super slow? So this is not a mandatory thing. It is a recommended way, because of course there are
Yeah.
some things open for discussions.
Yeah.
Severity types, of course, some people have like different opinion, and yeah, we cannot enforce many things here, but this is something that if you want to improve, if you have problems, this is you to be to check what's going on.
Nice.
We can go to the next page. We also have like a glossary on the top right. There's a mark, yes. Then here you have like all the explanation,
Oh, yeah.
rules are, why they are important, what they mean, and basically, yeah, this is what kind of information you can get, and yeah, if you have the additional questions, let's say, yeah, what this let's say avoid structured data sources with provider partitions, yeah, then you have like the whole explanation here. You can search for them, so it's quite easy for people to go through it. And the nice thing, we do it like every month. So in the previous report, in the previous screen, there was like this small graph that
Yep.
those were implemented. So you can see over time it should drop the number of issues in your data model.
And is this something you also centrally monitor, Ian? That you, okay, we have now 200 workspaces. Let's do to see what the quality is of the workspaces. Is that something you do also, or?
Yeah, so it's indeed it's providing insights to the decentralized workspace owners or administrators.
Yeah.
But on a higher level for us, these same reports give us the insights on how our environment is doing and where we need to take action or not. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Cool.
yeah.
Piotr, one
Moving
more.
on, Piotr, or
Yeah.
okay. Was it- Ah, yeah, next one.
Content cleaner. All right.
Here we have the content cleaner. Yeah, as every house, it's nice when it's clean. We also say the same about our Power BI environment. We like when it's clean, and especially as Ian mentioned, like how many users do we have, and how many people are creating content in Power BI. It is nice to check about this content if it's even used, because what happened before, as also Ian mentioned, like 5 years ago we started our journey with Power BI, but before we have like MicroStrategy, and the migration between MicroStrategy and Power BI also took us a lot of time, because there was so much content created by the users, and at the end you don't really know what is used or what is not used. People are always saying like this is super important, but yeah, if nobody's opening the report for the last year, maybe it's not that really important report at the end. Or maybe there's a different question, that you need to ask why this report is not used. So we
Yeah.
also developed like this solution to scan our tenant on all those different Power BI artifacts that you have, like reports, dataset, the dataset inside those workspaces, and see if those workspaces has any kind of activity on it. Because, as I said, if nobody open a report or dataset, probably it means that it's not used. So what we do, we scan those, we inform users that, hey, you need to check, maybe if it's still important, maybe you should do something with that or not. If there is no action, we move them first to a cold storage. So we try to offload this data sets or those reports first to the cold storage, because at the end, somebody can wake up after a couple of months and say like, yeah, okay, sorry, that was very important, so I want to get it back. So we keep that a backup as well for the users in case something happen. And then after a year, if really we don't see like nobody is putting the alarms on, then we are safe to remove the content. There are some cases that we have like reports that are used maybe on annual basis. So for example, end of the year report. So we have those cases also included. So we inform our community just to put a certain tags inside your Power BI reports or semantic models, just for our scanning mechanism, to be sure that we are, let's say, excluding those from the equation, because otherwise they will be also like removed. So so we ran this scan, I think like at least like twice to clean it. We did it like on a every half year or every year, just to clean everything to see if everything is in place. So we try to remove, because we see over time number of artifacts in our Power BI ecosystem is only growing, which is of
Yeah.
course a good thing because people are using the things,
Yeah.
but
The
again,
other, yeah. You shouldn't have an indeed that's a huge amount of unused reports. I have
Yeah.
one question, Piotr. Olaka had a question about the best practice analyzer that you showed before. How can people access that? Is that something that's running online or in virtual machine, as Olaka is mentioning? Where
yeah.
can people
So we
find
have
it?
So we have like two ways to accessing that. So let's say if you're just like a developer on your own laptop, right? So we have tabular editor for every user of Power BI, and it's part of the best practice analyzer is part of the tabular editor, so you can use it immediately. We also use it, let's say, in our scanner, let's say I would call it like that. And that part is using some DevOps agents when we have like this best practice analyzer over there just to help us doing this on a scale.
All right.
Yeah, and also, Piotr, users are also able to go to the IT website, right, and just enter the dataset ID and request a scan there, right?
Yes, that's also possible. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe that's for most people indeed the most accessible way, because then you don't need the other tools. You can just do it online.
Yeah, and you don't have to wait for the monthly scan. You can
Yeah.
just do it for one dataset,
Yeah.
and you can get a
Nice.
result. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because at the end the idea was to have it for everyone to use. So either you're like a more skilled person or less skilled person,
Yeah.
you can like the ID of your data set and the report ID, and then you get the scan with all those information. So we
Yeah.
also make it pretty easy for people to use.
Yeah. 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 Clear. Continue. So this is the content cleaner, and yeah,
Yeah.
nice. What's
Moving
next?
on, right, Piotr?
Yeah.
The next topic is the charge assistant, and I will pick this one up
Yeah.
because besides all these technical solutions, we also provide data visualization support. And one of the things is we provide custom visuals within Power BI desktop. So we have a set of around 15 extra visuals that we added there, besides the standardly available ones. So our developers there have a little bit more choice to choose from and are able to vary a little bit more with the different types of visualizations. And next to that, we provide a Power BI template with the ABN AMRO corporate colors and corporate font. The custom font for ABN AMRO is also available there in Power BI Desktop. So with
Mhm.
that theme file and a Power BI template file, the users can yeah, have a jump start in their development. And we also provide data visualization workshops and trainings. We have a workshop that lasts for 2 days. We go really into depth of the principles of data visualization. And we also have another training. It's only like 4 hours and it's a little bit more fast paced. But both of them, they contain an aspect of the CHRTS Assistant. And it's what you see in the screen. It's a Power BI app that we developed, and it assists people while they are going through their work. And if they want to choose a visualization, they can use this app. And it's based on the theory and the book of Andy Kirk. He gave us our blessing, and he even gave us compliments that he liked the fact how we turned his book into
Wow.
something that can actually be used by our employees.
Cool.
And the theory behind it is that every visualization requirement that you have can be plotted to one of these categories. And once you've selected the category, it gives you multiple options of how you could visualize and what visuals you could use. Gives you inspiration, but it also gives, in some cases, a bit of background of the visualization, what to watch out for and what not to do and what to do. And yeah, people are using it. I can show you. Let's say you have categories to compare. The most known visualization there is, but there is also alternatives, and we have them here. People who have don't know what kind of visualizations they should use, they really use these. There's information buttons here. If you click that, like I mentioned, you get a bit of the background and things to do or not to do. And also we have another category here, hierarchical relationships. Um, as you see, we also have the red thumbs down. Actually, we don't recommend this visualization because it has quite some downsides to it, negative yeah, aspects. It's difficult to read, upside down, and hard to compare. So I mean, it's a nice visualization, but we don't really recommend to use it. And we also then explain why that is, so the users can be informed in that way. And we've been promoting this tool for a while, and we actually do see variation, and we do see these custom visuals being adopted. So we see them popping up in our reporting. So yeah, we're
Yeah,
happy with that.
yeah, and we did, I think, some 3 years ago. Let me check. Yeah, 2 or 3 years ago. We did also an episode with Bert de Jong, who I
Yeah.
know was also involved in creating this.
Yes.
And I've put a link in the YouTube, but I'll also put it in the LinkedIn. But have a look at our YouTube channel to Design Thursday, Design Donderdag.
Oh
And
yeah.
episode 16, you can see 45-minute demo about this and what is the background and how it was created. So if you'd like to see that, you can have a further look at that.
Oh, nice. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you want to know more about this, feel free to reach out to us. This is our own created product, but we're happy to share it if you're interested in it.
Nice. No, it looks very good.
The last but not least topic I wanted to share with you guys is our Workspace Insights app. And so to say, it's a one-stop shop for our workspace administrators. They come here on the landing page and they see an aggregated data summing up their workspaces and reports and other artifacts. And below that are important links to the reporting. Just to go quickly through them, is the Workspace Insights. I cannot show this one, but it's a very important one. It shows all the information regarding all the artifacts and users of the workspace. Dataset refresh duration, data flow, dataset scheduled refresh information, so you can see when your things are scheduled. We recently added a new layer of detail actually. That's for every report or semantic model. You can see all the tables and the table source definitions and all the columns and measures and all the expressions of all these measures are available in the report. So that's, yeah, it was quite well received by our audience.
Yeah. This
Another
is
important,
Power
sorry?
BI dashboard, right, Ian?
Yes. So this is a Power BI dashboard and we call it the landing page.
Yeah.
And from here, we get some aggregated information,
Yeah.
but then there are links to more detailed reports. And this way it's all centered in one place. So yeah,
Yeah.
and we update this as well. We have some buttons here to some of the products, but we
Yeah.
could replace that if we have a new report or anything. So we, yeah,
Yeah.
it's a work in progress thing. Yeah, I wanted to mention this usage overview because it's important for workspace admins to see all the activities in the workspace, and they can see what people are doing what with what reporting. So it gives them also insights in yeah, the adoption of their reporting and by who. Then we have the workspace owner report. It's a simple report about workspace ownership, and there was a requirement to have that as a separate report. And also we have the health check here. I mentioned it before with the governance framework. We help administrators get insights in what they can improve in their workspaces if they see if they also see it's a requirement. That was the story. I think that covers what we have now. We had one more slide about what we are going to do in the near future.
Yeah.
I think Piotr could mention it quickly, right?
Yeah, of
Time
course.
for it.
Time. Yeah, we still have time left. No problem.
So there are like 4 topics because our journey still continues with
Yeah.
some new developments, and I think this is also like something exciting for us to work on in the future. So there are like 4 topics that I want to mention that we are working or will be working very soon. So first is a little bit about the BI governance, just additional, let's say, improvement, or let's say going to the next level of the maturity. So we want to implement a risk assessment on the workspace level, because every workspace has a little bit of different purpose, different kind of data. So we already did across the whole bank labeling of all those artifacts in Power BI. So let's say if it's confidential, if it's like private, so we have all these things in place. So what we want to introduce right now, it's like the CIA rating. So the CIA is basically confidentiality, integrity, and availability on the workspace level on the data that you have. So based on that, and also some additional questionnaire data, we will be able to assess what kind of information you have like in the workspace, and then our government's framework policies that we showed at the beginning, we can implement or enforce a little bit better, because then we know, okay, you guys, you have like very important data, you need to implement all those different policies.
So it's an additional check, because there is governance policies around it. So you already should have followed those, but this is something you can do also as an extra check. And
Exactly. And then you have like a different conversation also with those owners of those workspaces. So that also like very interesting. And this is also connects to the BI domains. It's also, I think Power BI introduced the concept of domains and subdomains a while ago. So we also are very interested in that one, because it's logically grouping workspaces around your organization. And what we notice that there's a lot of workspaces in our organization, and sometimes it will be nice to have, let's say, a party that we can go into, because that party is basically responsible for the whole domain. And then we can have like a different conversation, because also those checks from health checks needs to be applied then, so we can talk on a different level then. So that's also very interesting that for us to implement this concept. And those more hyped topic recently, the Power BI Copilot. I think it's a great product. It has been released a general availability, has a general availability recently, and we see a lot of potential in that. But of course, that's something that we, from the bank perspective, we also need to see how we can do it
what,
in
what is the thing you like best about the Copilot, Piotr?
the best way. The best thing from the Copilot, yeah, it's summarize the visuals, so
Mm,
it's explains it quite well. So I like it a lot, especially from user perspective, and
mhm.
from the developer perspective. If I see helping me with DAX, yeah, perfect. You know.
Yeah, we can all need help in writing docs. So, yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
So that's and also we see it as a future proofing solution, because we see like Copilot will only grow and get new features in the future. So we also want to be ready with Copilot to implement for our community.
Mhm.
Least from the things that we are working or we want to improve, is the overall performance awareness for our community. Because one thing is Power BI or the BIQFE that you can see, let's say, evaluation of your semantic models. But the second part, you also want to see how fast your queries are running on the Power BI service. So we also want to include that information over there, and also checking your reports for best practices. So we want to include lots of this different information inside that report for people to get even more awareness what they are doing and where to find improvements in those reports and semantic models that they create and publish.
Wow, it's a lot. So this will also be added to this landing page you showed before, then that people can access it from there, or will it be separately?
Um,
Maybe
yeah,
not.
possibly. But
Yeah.
I think this performance will really be that we're going to reach out to the teams, just have a chat with them and saying,
Yeah.
yeah, these artifacts we need to start improving them.
Yeah, and learn from it. So it's
Hmm.
also sharing knowledge and learn from each other.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
definitely.
community also. It's
Yeah.
it's great, and well, your timing is excellent, but I wouldn't have expected otherwise, because we are exactly at 44 minutes now. So well done. Uh,
Also- Oh,
so we have to close already, but it's great that you wanted to share this journey. Because yeah, it's a huge amount of people that are using it at ABN AMRO. So I can imagine that
yeah.
you have to have this in place. So it's good to see for other companies also how you're doing that as a large corporation.
Yeah,
And
and I can imagine if people want to ask questions, they're free to reach out, and we can see if we can share our experiences for sure.
now that I appreciate that. And so they can find you on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So connect on LinkedIn. Nice that you have been watching, Mark. Thank you that you also letting know. So, and if other people still watching, let us know. If you have any questions, you can also ask them after the episode. No problem at all. So next week we're also live at Thursday at 4:00. Then we have Ramsey Mayar as a guest. Yeah, we don't know exactly what it is will be about, but it will be something about AI. He's also actively sharing about that and giving a lot of training on that topic. So soon we'll have the meeting on what exactly will be the topic. So we'll announce that next Tuesday. So if you want to know more about AI, then we welcome you next week. So thank you very much, Piotr and Ian, for your time and sharing all this useful information and what you were actively working on. So I appreciate it a lot.
Yeah, I hope it provides
you.
some insights and and thanks for having us, Sean. It was,
Yeah.
it was fun.
Welcome.
It was fun
Thanks
to
for
be
the
here.
invitation. Yeah.
Thank you very much, and maybe see you another time. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye.